I am a third year Naturopathic Medical School student. Um, I am in the midst of my first quarter in clinic, and it's been interesting so far. Tonight I had my shift at Sojourner Center, which is a domestic violence shelter. And while on shift there, typically we treat the women and children who live there. I don't know, tonight I wasn't feeling that great, and it's kind of hard to give your 100% to your patients when you yourself aren't feeling great. I wanted to push through and stay instead of choosing to go home sick from shift. I guess for kind of selfish reasons. I didn't want to have to make up another shift. We're almost at the end of the quarter, and I just felt like, okay, let me just push through. Let me just do it. Let me just get through tonight. So anyway, I only had one patient tonight, and tonight's patient was a woman who was like 36 or 37 weeks pregnant, and she's having a hard time sleeping and experiencing mood swings. And we were trying to figure out why she was having so much difficulty sleeping. She said ultimately, really what she wanted was she just wanted to be able to get some rest, and in her words, to chill out. And so our goal was to figure out how we could get her to be able to get some rest. At first I had been thinking she also had hypothyroidism, and I was wondering whether or not her dose of Synthroid had been increased to compensate for her pregnancy. And so at the end of the intake, when myself and the primary student, because I was secondary tonight, were about to go and present, I got a chance to ask my question and ask whether or not her dose had been increased. And she said that her dose had been modified at about 5 months, and her TSH levels and thyroid hormone levels were looked at then, but the dose hadn't been changed since then. And at that point she wasn't feeling the tiredness, and and since then she hasn't had the thyroid levels checked. So I don't know, that was still on my list of DDXs, but she had a lot of stuff going on in her life, a lot of issues surrounding her family, and let's see what else, alcoholism, trying to get custody of one of her children back, and being faced with the prospect of losing custody of the child she's carrying right now, because apparently Sojourner Center is not considered a stable environment for a child, and she's also waiting for a bed at a alcohol abuse treatment center, and that's not considered a stable environment either. So they're wondering if they're even going to let her bring home her baby at all. So I guess our thought, once all of us on shift got back there together and were talking it over with the doctor who supervises our shift, our thoughts were, she's dealing with a lot of mental, emotional stressors, and perhaps those are what's contributing to her inability to sleep. I mean, she says she's only getting 4 to 5 hours per night. She's catching maybe an hour cat nap during the day, but even that's not enough sleep for you to really survive on. And then there's the question of, discomfort from the pregnancy. How much does that come into play? She said, she tried to sleep on her left side, which I just saw a study that I don't know was in the on a website news thing yesterday that talked about how sleeping on left side greatly reduces the risk of stillbirth in pregnant women. So she said she can't really do that, so she sleeps on her right, and she talked to her OBGYN who said it was okay, but I wonder about that. But anyway, so finding a comfortable position to sleep in while pregnant, that's an issue too. So anyway, and then she said, her other chief complaint was the mood swings. She said she gets really irritable. She gets irritable at her roommate's child who cries and fiddles her in her stuff, keeping her awake at night. She gets irritable going to the clubhouse where the cafeteria is around dinner time, because she said there are a lot of unsupervised children playing and just kind of running around there. And one day one had almost run into her pregnant belly while on a bicycle. So I guess that would be a little bit annoying. But she says, she gets really irritable about that. So that was her other chief complaint. Once we all got together back in our kind of conference room to discuss things, ultimately it was decided that she would be given a solid extract of eleuthero, and that was because tinctures weren't really seen as an option for her, because I guess all the tinctures that we have there at the center are alcohol based and problematic for a woman who is battling alcoholism. So we did the eleuthero solid extract, and she'll take like two dropper fulls. Oh my goodness, 3 times a day. We also gave her some fish oils, and she was asking about why we were giving her fish oils and were they safe during pregnancy, and we were explaining to her that fish oils have constituents like DHAs and EPAs that are good not only for her health but for the health of her baby, helping in cognitive development of the child. And then the fish oils just being anti-inflammatory properties, help with the health and